The Switch 2 hacking scene just got even worse. Pokemon ZA, a franchise that makes more than every other franchise combined, has just launched what might just be the worst Pokemon game of all time. Fans are outraged. The backlash from the community is impossible to ignore, and that $100 price tag for Pokemon ZA has caused absolute chaos. But the question is, why? What are the hidden truths behind this launch? What does this all mean for you as a Switch 2 owner? We'll speak about it in this video. Welcome to System Decoded. If you're new here, my name is Naseem. My background is in computer science with data science, and recently I've transitioned into the cybersecurity realm. What we do on this channel is we take complex systems and break them down into a simple format. I provide the framework and deep insight for you to understand. Just a disclaimer, on this channel, I do not promote any forms of piracy. This content is made for educational and speculation purposes only, so viewer discretion is advised. In typical fashion, we'll break this video down into 3 distinct parts. In part number 1 of the video, we'll speak about the direct updates in regards to Pokemon ZA, the reviews and the controversies, and why the fans are outraged by the game. And then in part number 2 of the video, I give direct gameplay footage of Pokemon ZA of both my Nintendo Switch 2 and also an emulator. And in this gameplay, we'll speak about why this particular launch of Pokemon ZA is not an upgrade and in fact a downgrade. And then in part number 3 of the video, we'll speak about future implications and what this means for the gaming landscape as a whole. So let's get into the video. Right, in order for this to be fair and unbiased, I made sure not to read any reviews prior to playing the game. Also did spend around $100 on the game for a review purpose. As the game, there it is. So as you can see, I have purchased the game, guys. It did cost me like nearly $100. So who am I choosing? Who am I choosing? I will choose the person who I think looks like me the most. This person. However, unfortunately, Nintendo does not offer a refund policy, so I'm basically stuck with the game. When I came online to read all the reviews, I found the most controversial data I've ever seen on any game title imaginable. Before we get into all that, just a quick note. If you are new here, welcome to the channel and make sure to subscribe. And if you're not new here, welcome back. All right, let's start with what's happening right now. Pokemon ZA just launched on the Nintendo Switch 2, and on paper, this should have been one of the biggest moments for Nintendo and Pokemon, as it's the first title on the most popular ever selling console. But the launch, rough. Critics are scoring the game 80 to 90%, where in reality, YouTubers and influencers and people who are doing live reactions are saying the game is absolutely abysmal. Refund posts, clips, memes, FPS drops, it's everywhere and all over the internet. Honestly, before reading the reviews, I honestly wanted to give it a fair shot. I never actually liked reading reviews first, as it skews my own thoughts on the game. Honestly, after playing the game myself, I am leaning towards the influencers side on critiquing the game for what it is, and it is an abomination. Literally, within the first hour of playing the Pokemon game, I knew something was completely off. Just a note, I do have a Twitch channel now called Mr. Decoded TV, so make sure to follow me on there. The pacing was uneven, the performance was unstable, and honestly, it just felt like a title that wasn't really quite finished. Honestly, at this rate, the only thing I was really happy about that I opted out of buying the DLC. For the record, I am a Pokemon fan. I even did a deep dive Pokemon hacking video, which you can check out right here. But then the question is, why is this such a big deal? The reason is that Pokemon has been in a lawsuit directly with Palworld, and they've also been giving people lawsuits for things such as mechanics and Reddit users. This time round, I honestly thought that Nintendo was about to launch one of the biggest titles of the generation because they didn't want any sort of competition. And secondly, Pokemon isn't just another franchise. It is literally the highest grossing franchise. It makes more than Mario, Zelda, and Harry Potter all combined, and yet it has somehow managed to release a game that is subpar. To give you a quick comparison, Hogwarts Legacy has voice acting, graphics that are literally uncomparable. Hogwarts Legacy outpaced Nintendo's Pokemon pretty much every single dimension. Meanwhile, Pokemon ZA can't even give its characters a voice. If smaller studios can do this, then why can't the largest one do it also? So it's clear from the get-go that they didn't really invest too much money into the game. They just used it as another cash grab. This isn't just about one bad game. It's about a pattern of letting the game quality drop while increasing the price, harming consumers and harming the gaming space as a whole. Now, in this part of the video, I'm going to give you my own personal critiques that I've found within the game when playing it. And I'm sure there's more, but here's my personal view. First things first, I did emulate the game using Ryujinx due to guidance policy on YouTube, and not actually specifically YouTube, specifically Nintendo, that I can't actually show you the footage from the emulator. Otherwise, Nintendo could potentially give me a copyright strike, which I really do not want at this current stage. However, what I can tell you is this: the frame rates are uncomparable. It's just as good as the Switch 2 edition. The emulation version, I would argue, is better. I do have an RTX 5090. I truly believe that you do not need such a high advanced graphics card to emulate this game. Even if you have a 30 series or a 40 series graphics card, I truly believe you can emulate this game better than what you can find on the Nintendo Switch 2. But just to give you a bit of a snippet, here's my reaction to me finding out the emulated version is better. But I will need to like blur half the stuff out, which is a bit frustrating, I know. Oh my God. Nah. Nah, shut. Yeah. Nah. I've wasted 60 quid. I've wasted $100. Is just as good, if not better, than the Switch 2 version. Literally haven't improved anything. It's the exact same, if not better, on an emulator. What have I done? So here's all my critiques in a nutshell. Number one, the reviews disconnect are very high, around 80-90%. Where Metacritic is giving it around 4.5. The second critique I've got is perceived value versus actual value. The marketing pitch Nintendo has done with Pokemon is that they'll start you off around $60-70 for the baseline game, but then they'll sell you DLC for around $30 plus an additional extra charge for online services. Add on the amiibos, you are running north of over $100 for this Pokemon Switch 1 game that was basically re-released for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, personally, I didn't see this third critique, but there has been texture issues, pop-ins, clipping, which I did actually search for on the game myself, but I couldn't find it. However, here's footage of someone else finding clipping on their game footage. Out the gate, I gotta say, I'm not seeing clipping. Where the hell do I go? Down here? Another critique I had was the game overall just felt very dim. For example, when I went to Hotel Z, the lighting was just so dim and dull. I didn't feel like I was in Lumio City. I felt like I was in some dungeon and not in a good one. If I'm honest, right? If I'm honest, yeah, it just looks dull. Like, it looks like, do you know one of them cheap hotels you go to, but they're like, they're not cheap, they're quite expensive, but they're just dull. It's like they're trying to go with this ancient vibe. Another huge critique I had, which I mentioned before, was the voice. Now, not having voice acting is insane. Ooh. Okay, out the gate, there's no voice acting. I did hear this, but I did not believe this. There is no voice acting. Another huge critique I have is the buildings. Now, the buildings literally look like something from Jackie Chan Adventures on the PlayStation 2. Ugh, look at these buildings. Yeah, look at these buildings, man. I don't know if I'm being weird or harsh, but am I? It's it just looks like, you know, back in the day, like PlayStation 2, Nintendo Wii, like not actually buildings. It's literally just square cubes and they've just been put in. There is no design. It's just copy and paste and it's really, really slop content and it's not good. I don't know what to say, man. Oh my God. The windows are just like copies. And the sky is just... It's like the bare minimum. What can we do to get away with it? And I just want to give one more bonus critique. When you enter the building, the doors don't actually open. I don't know if you remember the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 days where you'd walk up to like an entrance and you just press X or square or whatever. Or like on Simpsons Hit and Run, you walk up and press triangle and then you're instantly inside the building. They've literally got that mechanic in this game. Okay, so when they enter the building also, there's no like, you know, opening a door. It's just like GTA Vice City days where you just walk up and you press X and you're in. This is the hotel owner, by the way. Like, why is he abnormally big? However, I did like a few things. Number one, I actually do kind of find it fun, but it's more of a novelty rather than a game that I will spend hours invested into. Another thing was the music. I really, really enjoyed the music. I will say the music is so nice. That piano is beautiful. And another huge positive I would give it is just the colors and textures. Now, which contradicts my previous point, but in the cutscene specifically, they're very beautiful. It does look beautiful. No, you can't lie. Did it look beautiful before on the Switch one? I don't know. Ooh. Anyways, let's speak about the future implications of what this means for the gaming landscape as a whole. I know I've given a few critiques and I know I've been quite harsh. Usually I'm quite positive with Pokemon. In this regards, I do have to be honest and I do have to give my opinion. The issue we have is this. A lot of people right now will go and buy Pokemon and the sales of this game will make or break Nintendo's attitude moving forward. What it's going to do, unfortunately, is give Nintendo and the Pokemon franchise a false signal. And the false signal is you can just keep creating low quality content and we will just keep buying. And with that false signal will lead to worse Pokemon games down the line. Why? Because they've done it once. Why would they invest X amount of million into a game when they can invest less money into the game and make just as much profit? The answer is because the consumers keep buying it. In order for this game to actually increase in quality, the consumers do need to speak out. Pokemon has too large of a loyal fan base. This will only get worse unless community themselves, and I'm talking the die-hard fans, do something about it. That's just my personal opinion on the matter, and let me know what you think. That's my whole take for the Pokemon Legends EA launch, but I feel like I've given a fair, unbiased view. Right, that's it for today. This has been Nassim from the System Decoded. Until next time, I will speak to you soon. Take care and have a beautiful, blessed day.